Hello, my name is Matt Bird, and welcome to the PublishU podcast, where we explore the real life stories of authors from around the world. Today, I'm talking to John Cressman from Ontario in Canada, who has written a book called Pull Up a Chair. John, it's great to be with you.
It's great to be with you too, Matt.
No, we've never actually met in person. It's always been online, but one of these days I'm going to pop up and see you, or pop across and see you.
Yeah, over and across, that would be
Over
it.
and across. They're the rough directions. Now, John, tell us about you. I mean, you're a significant, well, I would say you're a significant leader in Canada. Tell us what it is you do there.
Well, I'm humbled currently to be the president of our denomination, the Evangelical Missionary Church of Canada, but I've been pastoring for 35 years, and before that, a graphic artist turned pastor. And so, again, my life experience seems to have shaped me for the role I'm in at this time. So,
Yeah,
humbled and grateful for this opportunity.
yeah, amazing. And Ontario, for those who've never visited Ontario, give us a feel.
Well, most people know Ontario through its most largest and famous city, Toronto. And so I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf hockey fan, and that again is pretty much known around the most of the world in that sense. And so we would be in what's called southwestern Ontario, and I can drive within, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours to many of the Great Lakes that sit in the center of Canada, well, more east, I guess, of Canada.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. I did visit Toronto a couple of years ago, and I was very interested to discover it's actually the most diverse city in the world. UN
Correct.
statistics, and I was surprised by that. I thought it was going to be London or New York or something, but it's actually Toronto. So there we go. Um, so, John, you said you're the president of your church denomination. What does that mean? Do you do any? I nearly said, do you do any work? But what I meant to say was, is this an honorary ambassadorial thing where you go to lots of events and shake lots of hands, or do you have a specific leadership role, within that for leading the movement?
Well, I guess I do that representative role and preach and speak at various churches. We have over 100 churches across Canada and global influence around the world. But my main role would be to coordinate a national team that serves all of our churches and our pastors and credential holders. And so I guess I was a pastor for pastors for a while on this national team, and now my job really is to pull the whole team together and actually to keep a denomination which we think is valuable for covering and for collective impact, to hold that denomination together in our culture, climate, economy, all those things seem to be part about what it means to, in Canada particularly, even to be kind of an odd duck in Canada, if I could say, related related to a multicultural, multi-religious, tolerant, pluralistic society. They would wonder, well, what are you guys existing for? And of course, we're here to help people follow Jesus.
Amazing. An odd duck. What a great phrase. Oh, I'm going to put that in my back pocket. Never know when I might need that again. And John, we're chatting together today because you've written and we've published an amazing book called Pull Up a Chair. I mean, the title is just, I think, really, really great. Tell us about your book.
Well, my subtitle, Matt, of course, is The Best Decision Your Church Board Will Ever Make. And that is to invest in the chairperson who's leading the church board or any board. In fact, in our context, you'll find elders boards, deacons boards, church boards, but whoever's leading that role, whoever's sitting in that chair, I've discovered through my experience and working with over 70 chairs that, they're ill-equipped. They've been overlooked. It's a leadership gap in the life of the church. So this is my little handbook, my little manual to
Yeah.
help brothers and sisters who serve in this critical, vital role.
Yeah, yeah. So the book is written for people who are board chairs of churches or other non-profit organizations.
That's correct. I hope it's general enough to apply even to business and so on, but my context,
Mm.
my world is
Yeah.
in the church life. And from my perspective, there are sharing skills, but there's also the dynamic of a volunteer organization that a church is, as
Mm.
well as the values and beliefs that go into discerning a good decision.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. So Pull Up a Chair is just a great title. And so
Thanks.
John, tell us about one bit of practical advice that you give through your book to board chairs. You know, something really, I know there's lots of practical stuff. Just pick one of your practical, tangible things that you recommend or guide board chairs to do.
Well, again, there are a number of sections in the book. I think that what is turning out to be the most critical role that a chair can play is to have a strong alliance with their pastor.
Yeah,
And so often I find that these two parties have little to do with each other or have perhaps an adversarial type of relationship. Can we stay out of each other's way? But in the book, I talk through how to build a strong alliance between board and pastor. And to me, that comes through the vital relationship the chair has
yeah,
with the pastor. And so I talk about the rhythm, the meetings, what's valuable to grow that relationship. Because frankly, in my role, we often step in lots when that pastor board relationship goes sideways, and here we are denominationally mediating what is the most, it's a vital relationship that makes the whole church flourish.
yeah, yeah. And you know, coming back to your earlier point, whilst your context is church and non-profit, this is the same for any organization,
Very true.
private sector, public sector, non-profit sector. You know, the strength of any organization, in my experience, comes down to is directly proportionate to the degree of trust and relationship between its executive leader and its non-executive chair.
Exactly.
Because if that relationship is strained or there's distrust or more negative things, yes, I was going to use the word. I went, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. But when you get that relationship right, that trust is the sort of trust that can carry growth of the organization, whatever organization it might be, and the impact it has in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I'm so excited by your book, John. So excited. I mean, I mean, how do you feel now it's published and it's globally available? I mean, are you pinching yourself, or what's the biggest feeling you have?
Well, frankly, there's a number of folks that have been saying, man, could I use a copy of this? Because my chair, or I'm a chairperson, and I frankly don't know what I'm doing. I find tons of willingness in the church setting for people to say, well, okay, I'll be the chair. But then as soon as that decision is made, they feel totally ill-equipped, don't have any confidence. And realistically, I've been in those board meetings, Matt, and they're not very efficient, effective. And again, I think the chair is the key pivotal role. So yeah, I am a little bit pinching. It's been a goal for a while. And it's a bit of a legacy piece for me, Matt.
Mm. Yeah, no, I can see that. And when you step into the board chair role, it's not like there's loads of people who are around you that's done it before. There's not, so actually Pull Up a Chair is yeah, actually, of all your experience of working with chairs and leaders, pulled together in one place. It's a treasure chest of advice and guidance and support. So yeah, it's super exciting. But John, actually, I want to pull you up on something, because I think you said this is your kind of legacy piece, and and yeah, no, that's great. But I don't think this is the last book you're going to write. That's what I want to ask you. So, seriously, are you putting down your pen now, or have you already got inklings about what you might write next? Because I think writing a book is positively addictive. Once you've done it once and know you can do it, it's and I may be building up to a simple no here, but I'm just wondering, is there anything bubbling inside you for another book?
I'm chuckling because one of my life verses has been fix your eyes on Jesus, who's the author of our life faith. And so, from several perspectives over my journey, I've put my pen in his hands. He's in control of writing my story. But I would be honest with you, Matt, this has been stimulating. And I believe there might be a couple of other books that I'd like to look in, particularly try a biography of my mentor and talk about our mentoring relationship. It would be sort of like um, the letters to a young pastor kind of feel book
Mm,
that might help other pastors, because my mentoring relationship, when again, most pastors just get trained and get thrown in, I think there's value in having those lifelong mentoring relationships. So we'll see what my
yeah.
schedule, my family, even the grandkids now pull at me too, Matt. But if I could contribute to the body of Christ,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in a sense, pull up your chair. You've done half the job.
Yeah,
The other half of the job is, well, what about that new leader for that organization? What about that new pastor?
yeah.
And actually, how do you? I mean, yeah, if they're pastors, they've learned to read the Bible a bit, and learned some stuff in theory, but in the trenches, it's very different, isn't it? And
Uh,
I guess they need some similar help. So I love the idea um, that you position there to actually tell your story of your mentor and how
yeah,
the advice they shared with you, because in a sense, it would be part of his legacy
it's true.
for you to pass on the advice you received to hear from him to other younger pastors coming into new roles and new positions.
Yeah, the title has led to conversations about, well, you need several pull up a chair. That is, you want to pull up a chair of another pastor alongside you to help them, or what about the board members? And so there's been a lot of conversation about who else do you want to pull up alongside to equip and resource. So
Mm.
perhaps even Matt, with your help, we'll get there someday.
I think we will. So, John, I'm interested, John. I mean, obviously, you did the writing my book course with me, and now we've published your book. I mean, just feedback. I'd love to know what is it you found particularly helpful.
Well, again, I would have had a lot of the content for this book through my doctoral research in the area and so on. But again, it's the coaching. I'm also a leadership coach. And so I just needed someone to put some deadlines and get some parameters. And so I work well in that. Matt, that's my style. So when you said 5,000 words each week, I'm going to be the guy that's going to get that done. So that's the greatest value. But then just your coaching along the way has been helpful to frame it.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it's a journey that you take once, like a thesis, and you wonder if you'll take again, but it is worth the effort on the
Mm.
way.
Yeah, yeah, great to hear. So, John, as we wrap up, is there a final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
Well, again, I would want to say thanks to you. And I think in my context, it was like, where would I go to get help to write a book? And then even how would I publish it? So this has been super helpful to me just from the course perspective. But again, I would say my book is an attempt to realize that there are overlooked, under-resourced, ill-equipped volunteers in the life of the church. I frankly think some pastors do more training for church greeters than
Mm.
they do church board chairs.
Yeah. Amazing. John, thank you so much. And thank you all for listening to the Publish You podcast featuring the genuinely real life stories of authors from around the world. If you're interested in becoming an author like John, please do visit our website, www.publishu, the letter u.com, publishu.com. And if you've enjoyed this broadcast, make sure you subscribe for more. Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye for now.